That's right, in today's episode we are going to go ahead and transform our End Island, which is going to be an absolutely mega project. But I think once it is done, it is going to look super cool. I do have an idea in mind. I won't tell you what that is just yet, even though you've probably seen it fit the thumbnail, but that is fine. The first thing I do want to go ahead and do is go ahead and defeat the Ender Dragon a few more times just to open up all the portals, because once the End Island is transformed, I will no longer want to be spawning the Ender Dragon because, well, it will ruin all the building that I am going to be doing. But I need ghast tears and I don't want to go ahead and manually get them, so I'm going to go ahead and build a ghast farm, which I've never actually built before, so let's hope that this goes well. That is a ghast farm built and it is working. I have been AFK here for a little bit and I don't know how many ghast tears it's got me. I'm hoping it is, somewhat decent amount. 47, okay, I've been AFK here like 15 minutes, so that's not too bad whatsoever. I don't actually know how many I need for all the end crystals. I should probably figure that out. Okay, so I did the maths and I need like 80, so that's a little bit more AFK time. I don't know if it's exactly 80 because I think it's 20 portals, so it would mean it's actually 76, but I'll just stay up here for a little bit longer and just get a few more ghast tears so I can make all the end crystals that I need to respawn the dragon 19 times, or how I think it's 19. I could be wrong, but I guess we'll find out. This farm sounds terrible. It is not a great sound, but we have plenty of ghast tears that we can go and take. And also, in between episodes, I've built a little bit of tunnels. I haven't finished all of it, but I will show you what I have done so far. Each tunnel is going to be slightly different. So this one going down this way is out of the Crimson. I think that's what that one is. And the Nether Wart blocks. That one might be Soul Sand. That one might be... I don't know, but just so I can know, it's all slightly different. So we come down here and then to the right here, as you can see, you can tell which one this goes to because, well, it's end blocks, so that is our end portal. And then going down here, you might be able to tell it's not finished. I've done a bit of work on it, but this is our industrial district. That is the industrial district portal. I've done this and the roof will be slightly different as well, just so it's, easier than labeling it. I'll know which tunnel to go down to get to certain portals. Okay, so we have everything that you need to make the end crystals, so let's go ahead and make a heap of them. And I don't have a chest for these, so do I make a chest or do I don't know if I really need a chest for end crystals, to be honest, because, well, I don't have a chest for ghast tears. I do need a chest for that, so let's go ahead and make one of them real quick. Let's go ahead and put the ghast tears over here next to the elytras, just like that. And then over on this side next to, let's put it next to the armor trims, we will put our end crystals. Oops, that's wrong. There we go. We now have an end crystal chest. Honestly, I think at some point I will run out of storage because eventually there will be new blocks come into the game, but I can always just expand and maybe go underground or something for those new blocks, or move things that I don't use as often, like, end crystals may move at some point because, well, probably not going to use them that often. Who knows? I may use them in builds, I may not. We'll just see. But now we need to head to the end and kill the Ender Dragon another 19 times. And after a good, probably over an hour of killing the Ender Dragon a heap of times, we have all of the portals now here. This looks really cool. I only ever really seen this once, and that was on Igniter Season 2 a long time ago. So yeah, this is really cool. And I somehow lost my helmet. So I died a couple times, and then I was like, because of Enderman. So I put a pumpkin on my head, and now I've lost my helmet. I have no idea where it went. I think it may have actually despawned. I might have forgotten to pick it up. So that's a little bit annoying, but there is a lot of work to do here. As you can see, that I don't like that. That'll have to go. But this, it's not terraformed, I guess, how I want it. There is a lot of blocks to be placed, but also I need to make it look decent first because it's going to be getting covered with grass blocks. And I believe I have the anti-Enderman griefing data pack in, so they won't be moving around my grass blocks, otherwise that would be really annoying. But I think, before I want to do that, my iron farm that I have at my base, it's good, but I just use so much iron and it just is not supplying me anywhere near enough. So let's head to the industrial district and build a brand new iron farm that should hopefully supply us with a plenty of iron. This may look reasonably familiar to you because, well, it is pretty much the same as the one Minion built on the Igniter SMP server that I used to play on. Now, some of you won't have seen that, but some of you definitely would have. It is just half the size. It is 6 instead of 12 bays, but that is 6 times better than what I had. And I did do a little bit extra work. Once I finished the time lapse, I got all the zombies in, so there is a zombie in every single one of these little things. You can't quite see the last one. And down here, I have just a basic villager breeder that, we don't have any villager breeder just yet, but we are getting towards that. We just need some more carrots to be harvested, which I'm going to go ahead and grab some bone meal and just help them out a little bit so they can get breeding, and then we can come down here, we'll place a minecart, click the button, and this should work. They should come pick up the villager and it'll send it all the way around here and start filling them up. We will go obviously back around like this. Iron farm is now 100% complete. All the villagers are in and all of the bays, or whatever you want to call it, are now active and working perfectly fine, and this is amazing. This is just so much faster than the farm at my mega base. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do an AFK test for 1 hour and see how many iron blocks we get in, an hour of AFK. So let's start that right now and see how many we get. It has been just about an hour, so we need to go and check. Oh, did I see a zombie down there? Let me just can I fly, please? I can hear a zombie. There's a zombie. Okay, that doesn't really matter. We need to see how much iron we got in an hour of AFK. Oh my goodness. We got nearly 3.5 stacks of iron blocks in just an hour. That is significantly faster than the farm at my base. This is amazing because I use so much iron. This is amazing. We are back in the end because we need to actually start terraforming a little bit of the island because it needs to be covered in grass, and at the moment I don't really like how it looks. This middle area, not too happy with. Why does this feel so weird? I don't know. This area needs to be changed a little bit. That needs to go. Just a few things need to be changed around because I'm not overly happy with how it looks. Okay, so I've gone and tidied up a little bit. I've got rid of the little island thing that was over here, and this is flattened down to the level I needed. But I've decided I don't want to do any more. I just want to start placing grass blocks, and I will just fix anything as I go if I need. There shouldn't be too much that needs fixing. And after multiple hours, the top of the end island has now been fully covered in grass. Now I know all of the side and all these bits here are not covered, and I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do them in this episode because it is a big project in itself, let alone trying to cover all of this because, well, you can imagine it would not be very easy. So I don't think I'll do that in this episode. We'll just see where I get up to, but obviously this looks very interesting, but also it doesn't look great at the moment. Now, I haven't really mentioned what I'm doing. All I've said is I'm placing grass, and that's what you can see so far, but these towers will come into part of the build. They won't look like this, and then also all of the end gateways, they're going to be utilized as well. Now, the idea that I have for these obsidian pillars is they're going to be covered, so they're going to basically just be used as a reference, and they're going to be covered in stones and stone blocks and all that sort of stuff, and it's going to be sort of like, I guess, ancient ruined tower things. I don't really know. So they're all going to be different sizes. They're going to be a little bit ruined and cobblestoney and all that sort of stuff. Once I get one built, you'll sort of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Haven't actually tried it out yet. I'm just hoping it looks good. So this is the rough idea I had, and it looks okay at the moment. Obviously there is a lot more to go, but I am now in two minds because I feel like, because all these towers are different sizes, I feel like they all the stone part needs to be the same. Now,
okay, pause. Now you need to watch this time lapse. You can see I take down these stone buildings because, well, to be honest, they looked terrible, and the idea was there, but I wasn't able to execute it. And now you can see I am taking down the obsidian pillars, and if you've ever done this, you know it takes absolutely forever, and it is not a fun process whatsoever. But I guess in the end you get tons and tons of obsidian, which I guess is somewhat of a bonus. But I come up with a new design, a new idea that I think is going to be significantly better than the idea I had before. So let's continue mining down these obsidian pillars so we can move forward with the project.
am never doing that again. That was a ridiculous how long that took me to mine down all of the obsidian towers, and we're just left with the bedrock, which I'm not actually sure if I can remove it. I'm sure with the regular way of removing it with TNT and pistons and stuff, I should be able to get rid of them because, well, I don't really want them floating there. So if I can get rid of them, I will. But this is all the obsidian we are left with, nearly exactly 4 double chests worth, which is kind of crazy. Now, if you're wondering how long this took, yeah, 8 hours and 20 minutes. 8 hours and 20 minutes to mine the obsidian towers. Yeah, long process, painful, not fun, but it's done. And now I guess we have plenty of obsidian, so I'm not going to complain about having a ridiculous amount of obsidian. That will last me a very, very long time. I don't even know how I would use all of this obsidian, but I now need to try and get rid of this bedrock. And now I know that I can get rid of the bedrock. So the first one is gone. I just have quite a few more to get rid of, but that wasn't too bad. I just, yeah, need to do it a few more more times, and then we will have no more bedrock randomly floating in the sky, which is good. After about 5 minutes, we no longer have any floating obsidian. Nope. Bedrock, that's what it's called, not obsidian. We no longer have any floating bedrock, which is looking really cool. This end island looks, it kind of looks crazy at the moment. I do need to get rid of that because it looks terrible. I need to get rid of that. But I have actually come up with a new pillar design, and they're not going to be ruined like the last idea, and they're not going to be in place quite of all of the ones that are here. There's going to be like 6 or 7 pillars or 8 pillars or however many pillars there's going to be, and I'm going to use the pale oak logs. They're going to be stripped because I want it to be white. I think white will look really good. If we look in the pale oak chest, we have none. So that isn't great. I don't know. Okay, I did grab 4 saplings, which is good because now I can actually go ahead and chop down a bunch of trees and get myself plenty of the pale oak logs because, well, I'm going to need lots of them. So I've spent like nearly 2 hours chopping trees so far, and because I've got to strip them all, like I've got a lot, but I need to fill up all of these shulker boxes here, and it's just taking forever. And you know what? I've decided I'm gonna want a tree farm for this and dark oak eventually, so why not go ahead and make a farm for it right now? Because, well, if I'm gonna need a farm for it in the future, and I need a lot of this now, why not just make the farm now? And, you know, so I guess save us time in the future. So I guess we're gonna head to the industrial area and choose a spot there and build it. Okay, this should be the farm fully complete. Now I need to just do one more thing really quickly, which is setting up this quick item filter for the saplings. So I should be able to put that in there, and I'll just use rockets for that. Then that should be fine, and this is just the storage for the rest of the stuff. Okay, this farm is actually working, which is amazing. Obviously it should work, but I always get worried when I build farms that I've never built before, because often things go wrong. But it seems as though this is working. After a bit of time AFK at the farm, we now have all of the wood I should need for now. It's not going to be enough for the stuff that I haven't yet got exactly planned, but for what I do have planned, it should be just enough to do all of that, which is the 6 pillars, I think it is. I don't know. I feel like my maths could be wrong. I am not the brightest, but we'll head over to the end and start building our pillars, which I think is going to look really, really cool. And we have our 6 pillars built, and I think they look really, really cool. I am super happy with how they actually look, and they are quite big. And yeah, I think I did the spacing right. I really hope I didn't mess something up, but you can see, you know, it's almost a circle. We are not done with these yet. What I do want to do is a big circle thing going around, connecting them all together. But there are also a few other things I need to do. I need to cover up this obsidian, still need to get rid of that, and also that thing over here. That is a few things tidied up. The obsidian that was left on the ground is now hidden. All the end gateways are now back to how they should be, and there's an enderman that I must have looked at, that one right there. But now I'm gonna go ahead and try and figure out these big circles, and after a little bit of time I managed to run out of rockets, but get the inside oval, because it's not quite a circle, it is actually an oval. We got that one to line up, and it, I think, looks fine. I do need to grab more rockets. Looking down on it, it doesn't look too bad. It lines up pretty well, and it does connect all of the pillars. Now I need to go ahead and do the outside pretty much the exact same. It should hopefully not be too difficult, because this wasn't too bad, so I'm hoping the outside's the same. So I have now done the outside layer as well, and it does look fine, but then I've actually realized, you see this here, there's a block on the outside here, but then if we look over there, there's not. So I think it's not actually, I think the towers are actually built slightly in the wrong spots, not the circles. I think the circles would line up, or the ovals would line up perfectly if they were built correctly. So I think they're actually, I've built them slightly wrong. But I think because it's a large build, I don't think you'll really notice. I still have a lot more work to go, like filling in this inside ring and doing a little bit more to it. The ring is filled in, and yeah, it doesn't look great. So I want to go around and put some stairs along the edge, like I've done here. I think that'll look, pretty decent. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add a few more details to it and fix the underside. I should have done that first, because otherwise it'll just be very flat, but that's fine. I will deal with that. So this is what we are now working with, and you know what? I am actually quite happy with how it looks. I've sort of extended these things up a little bit above, because the top bit was looking a bit flat, and then I've added a bit of a detail here on each of the sides, and I think this thing is starting to look very, very cool, and I want something in the middle of it. Now, I want it to be sort of floating above the portal in the middle, and so, like, the middle of whatever it be at this level. I don't know what exactly I want to do, but something floating in the middle of this, just because I feel like this surrounding something could be pretty cool. So I went with these crystal-y sort of things, and I did add 4 more surrounding it afterwards, and I do actually think it looks really good, and I think I'm definitely going to add some more later on with some different colors. Now I am just grabbing some gravel and some andesite to go around at the base of each of the towers and just add a bit of different color and make it look like it's been put in gravel or concrete or whatever, just to change it up a little bit, so it's not just grass absolutely everywhere. And once I was done with that, I decided I wanted to go and bone meal absolutely everywhere outside of our circle area, because, well, I want the outside to feel pretty overgrown, so that is what I'm going to do.
But the only issue is I, at this point, didn't have much bone meal and forgot that I have a wither skeleton farm, so I actually went and built a bone meal farm, which is going to be very handy to have anyway, and then I went ahead and finished bone milling the rest of the island. And that brings us to here where all of the grass is now filled in, and I want to now go ahead and do a couple more things. I want to add some rocks around the place, and I also want to go ahead and add some green crystals, some yellow crystals, and also some magenta, because that is purple. I want some magenta as well, so a little bit purpley still, but not straight purple like this one here. So that is the next task. Also probably some trees dotted around the outside as well, because like I said, the outside is meant to be quite overgrown, so some trees just randomly dotted around should hopefully look pretty good. This island is starting to look super cool, and all these crystals in the middle I absolutely love, and the grass, trees, and rocks around the outside does make it feel a bit overgrown, which is the exact feel that I was going for. And then yeah, the middle looks super cool. I don't really know what to do with the grass down there because it's just very plain. I'll try and figure something out, but if I don't, then it isn't the end of the world. Now we have the end gateways to work with now, and I do have an idea for these. They're going to end up being a similar shape to them, but I'm going to use white concrete and do a little thing around them, which I will just, yeah, you'll see. But we need to do that for all of them, so that's a lot of concrete. So this is going to take a while, but let's jump into another time lapse. We've had a lot of time lapses this video, but there has been a lot of work this video. And yeah, let's get the end gateways all done up and looking fantastic. Okay, how cool do these things look? They look so much better than the regular just end gateways. Oh, this is looking super, super cool. And I absolutely love how this island looks. Oh my goodness, is this cool. So what I've decided to finish off this build, I want to do more crystals, but coming out of the ground. The last few crystals are in, and you can see I have put a black concrete powder around it, and up close it doesn't look great. But if I go in free cam and turn shaders on, it looks pretty cool with the black concrete, or concrete powder, because it looks like it's coming from somewhere. And look how cool this thing looks in with shaders on. It looks so cool, and I am so very happy with it. It took a ridiculous amount of time to build, and oh, this is, look at how bright these things are with shaders on. It is just amazing, and this turned out so much better than I ever imagined. If you did enjoy this episode, I would really appreciate a like, because it took so long to make. I think it's super cool. Also, please do consider subscribing. It really helps me out, and I do also appreciate it. But with that said, my name is Onyx, and I will see you next time. Ow, there's a giant crystal there. Whoops.